Let's switch to election stuff for a minute. It is election day. I voted. Have you voted yet, Annie Frey?
No, not yet.
Okay, don't you forget.
I won't.
You need that little sticker I've got here on my coat that says I voted today. Just real quick. So the big issues over here. We had a poll yesterday that showed that Lyda Crewson had like 60% in the poll they took for mayor, which unfortunately I was afraid of. Andrew Jones was at around 17. I'm hoping there were people who just weren't admitting they were going to vote for Jones who will do it today. But here's the other big news from yesterday. The two proposals in the city that would be required to fund infrastructure in the new stadium have to get a 3/5 majority. But when this poll was taken, Props 1 and 2 were falling short of that 3/5 majority. So if those don't both pass, then it's the soccer stadium doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that. Mm-hmm. Now, Prop P, I never really saw any polling on it. I know it's people were passionate about it one way or the other if they didn't want the new tax or they supported the police. Over in the Metro East, Prop E is something I've heard you talk a lot about.
Yes, Prop E is on the ballot in the Edwardsville School District. And essentially what you have in Edwardsville is one more example of the mismanagement of funds in Springfield. The chickens are coming home to roost, and in a more affluent school district like the Edwardsville School District, the state says, well, you guys are going to have to handle this on your own. And so there's this $7 million annual deficit from what the state is supposed to be sending us, and they're not. So then the question is to the people in the school district, whose responsibility is this to fix? So we're voting on a property tax increase. A vote yes for Prop E is a vote to increase your property taxes to help. It's going to raise the education fund tax. And that's a perpetual thing. It's not. There's no time restriction on it. This isn't a 3-year fix. This is an increase on your property taxes that hasn't occurred yet. So a lot of us in the Edwardsville School District just received about a 9% increase because our assessed value went up.
Right.
I don't know what became so impressive about my house to all of a sudden go up 9 or 10%, but it did go up 9 or 10%. So there is also another scheduled property tax increase that is coming down the pike aside from Prop E. And then there's Prop E, and that's the decision that voters get to make today. So the question is, and I shared this on my social media, but what's more important to you? Making sure that the kids have every single opportunity at their fingertips and giving more money into the system to make that happen, or being able to afford to live in your home. And that is going to be answered differently by each individual person. And as I said, if you don't vote, don't mope. You have to go vote. You don't get to complain if you don't vote. Either way.
I guess the other question is and I know if a bullfrog had wings, it wouldn't bump its butt, right? But
I suppose that's true.
if the state of Springfield ever got its act together and were fiscally responsible again as a whole, and the school district started getting that money it was supposed to be getting to begin with.
I know where you're going, and the
right?
answer is heck no.
Yeah.
There's no way that money is coming. There's no way that residents are going to regain the ground that they would be ceding by voting yes on this proposition. So, I mean, there are real cuts to be made potentially. The question I've been asking myself, and I've struggled a lot on this, it was on the November ballot, and I voted no on it in November, and I'm going to vote here yet later today. But the question is, can you trust the people who are collecting these dollars to manage them properly to do what they need to do? And this tax is managed locally, doesn't go to the state and hope that it comes back around. But I feel like the belt gets so tight at home that before the public system even has to move it a notch.
Right.
So to what extent do I need to sacrifice my ability to provide for my family with the money that I make? Another thing that's on the ballot for anybody in Madison County is a Madison County facility sales tax, which is a 1% sales tax increase. And that money would go to school facility projects, which is an important distinction because that money doesn't buy new teachers. That money improves buildings, builds buildings. Yes.
Right.
So the sales tax, if as a resident of Illinois right now, I just received a property tax increase just because it came in the mail, and now that's what I'll be paying for the next year. I can vote to raise my property taxes again. I can vote to raise my sales taxes again. And if Springfield ever gets their act together, there's going to be an income tax raise that comes out of there.
Oh, that's almost guaranteed. That's part of their grand bargain, right?
That grand for somebody. Not for this girl. So you really have to look at the situation not just as the whole and what feels good and what feels right for everybody. You cannot forget to remember yourself in that situation. And if you feel like, especially if you're integrated deeply into the system, I know there's a lot of people who are terrified of losing the opportunity to be in band or to play sports, because these are all things that are being cut.
Right.
So that or could be cut. You know, it's a different decision for everybody, but at some point, my pockets will be empty. And even though I will want to give you all of the dollars in the whole wide world to make sure that little Johnny has the best violin that he can play and doesn't have to not play for it because he can't afford it himself, if I have no money left to give, I have none left to give. Or every 6 minutes, another Illinois resident taxpayer is leaving the state of Illinois. So you're going to run out of taxpayers, and the ones that are left are going to run out of tax dollars. So,
yeah, I would agree.
Who's that calling?
Do you hear that?
Yeah.
Annie, that's Missouri calling you.
Oh my gosh.
I knew that was coming.
I just want to.
I knew it was coming. You're not the first. You won't be the last to tell me that.
I'm not trying to recruit you to move to the state of Missouri because we have tax issues over here, but they don't seem to be quite as they're certainly not mismanaged in Jefferson City the way they are in Springfield.
I have a generational home and a family farm, and so does my husband. But the thing is that many don't. It's like, we can't afford this. We're out. Look what we can go have across the river or in another neighboring state, and they're gone. And Illinois is not going to revive itself on my family's back financially.
Right.
They have to get their act together.
They've got it. And Bruce Rauner's headed down the right path. I'll give him credit for that, but
it's a tough road.
It's tough, man. It's tough over there.
Yep. So get out and vote one way or another.
Please
don't complain if you don't vote.
That's the thing about it. You get frustrated when you find out that maybe earlier today, the St. Louis County election director said he expects maybe a 20 to 25% turnout. That's higher than I thought. I was thinking it might be 15 to 20. Mm-hmm. I think maybe he's being optimistic, but that's kind of what he's expecting. There are some bigger issues in some areas than others. It ought to be a source of pride to want to go vote. It ought to be almost be mandatory. I'm not for anything being mandatory, but that's one of the things you should have to do as a citizen. Go vote.
I'm always interested too, like especially after the general election when you see these protesters and everything. People look them up, and none of these people have voted.
Yeah,
they are really angry.
Yeah.
They're really ticked off at the issues
or
the candidates, but they had to nap on election day or something. They don't show up.
Well, hey, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Annie Frey, the Annie Frey Show, Saturdays, of course, 5 to 7 here on the radio station. I went and grabbed her in that last break and said, hey, if you're not doing anything in a few minutes, come in and let's talk about those Illinois issues that are on the ballot. So I appreciate your flexibility.
There's always Illinois issues.
You can always bring up Illinois issues. That's a go-to. Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
314-969-9797. I promise you I'm going to get to this Illinois sanctuary story. The whole state might become a sanctuary. I wonder if that happened if we could just fence it off.
What about a sanctuary for
Leave it alone. Yeah, California should become a sanctuary for the taxpayer.
Yeah.
Just like Illinois, which that hasn't happened, has it? All right, I'll get to your phone calls, and we'll have the results of our Twitter poll on Senator Claire Bear when we come back.
Come to me, talk to her, won't let me be.
This is the Mark Cox
Go to
Show.
the valley, time to hear. Never takes time. You know I will.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather with Dave Murray.
Quiet day today, dry day, mix of clouds and sunshine, 69 for the high. Tonight, though, periods of rain and thunderstorms, 52. Wednesday, periods of rain and thunderstorms. Some could be strong to severe, 62 for the high, dropping into the 50s Wednesday afternoon. And then just kind of a chilly to even cold weather pattern in here Wednesday night, Thursday, and Friday. I'm Fox 2 meteorologist Dave Murray for FM News Talk 97.1.
The Mark Cox Show is sponsored in part by Granite Transformations. Let them transform your kitchen, bath, or commercial space. Explore the wide selection of products in their beautiful showroom in Chesterfield or online at granitetransformations.com. They have the perfect solution for your next project. Well, you should talk to Rick and Tracy Ellis if you're looking to buy or sell a home. How about this? The number one team at both RE/MAX Edge offices in Chesterfield and St. Charles. That's amazing. They work with clients all over the St. Louis, St. Charles area, and because of their marketing exposure, their radio show, their magazine, their internet exposure, they're selling homes at the Lake of the Ozarks and up around Mark Twain Lake as well. They've been doing it for 20 years. If you hire them, you work directly with them. Listen to them here on 97.1. It's like working with part of the family. Or go to their website at tracyellis.com.
Harness the power to get more done at Seidenstrickers with the John Deere 312 GR skid steer. Get powerful digging performance and generous lift. And it's equipped with manual controls and a fuel-efficient diesel engine, so it's as easy to operate as it is to own at Seidenstrickers at only $24,999. Plus, our extended warranty includes a second year or 2,000 hours on the powertrain and hydraulics.
Offer ends May 1st, 2017. Prices and model availability may vary by dealer. Some restrictions apply. Other special rates and terms may be available. See the limited warranty for new John Deere equipment at dealer for details. Available at your local Seidenstricker location.
Hey, it's Michael Mohan with Community Mortgage. Let me throw some numbers at you. Start with the number 3, as in fixed rates still in the 3s. Home prices are up, and it's time to use that equity to take cash out for a remodel or to pay off debt before the next Fed rate hike. Next number, 0, as in you pay 0 closing costs, 0 lender fees, 0 appraisal fees, even 0 title fees. How about more zeros, as in 0 PMI? If you're in the market to buy a home, I can also get rid of the dreaded private mortgage insurance, giving you a lower payment so you can get a better house. Now, the number you need to unlock a better mortgage, my phone